Hello yogis, it's Deb O. Welcome to a restorative practice today. As we get started, let's make sure we gather a few props for ourselves. Remember, restorative yoga is very relaxing and we use props to help us into these restorative positions so that we feel like we are being supported by the earth, by the props, by whatever is beneath us. So I have a couple of blankets. I'm sitting on a blanket. I'm going to lie down. We're going to start lying down. So you may want a couple of pillows or maybe even an extra mat rolled up under your knees, a couple of blocks, maybe just a blanket out on your floor or on a rug somewhere where you can recline and be very relaxed. So if you need to put this video on pause and go collect your props, you can do that. I'm going to start situating things. I usually like to roll the blanket up and put it right underneath my knees so that I have a little support here. And then of course we need some support for your head. So as you lie down, just remember you don't really want your chin up like this, making it very uncomfortable, and you don't want it down on your chest. You want it so that your face is straight up and you have a place for a little orange under here and a natural curve, but having some support underneath your head will help you feel relaxed. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be up. I really don't like to see people with a block underneath their head because then they're like this the whole time. And we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to do a few moves down here, but first we're going to quiet the mind. We're going to relax the body into the earth. So get into this nice reclined, supportive position. Close your eyes and just let your arms and legs kind of flop open and connect with the breath. We always start by connecting with the breath. And I may get up and down, so just listen to my words. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs completely, exhaling completely. And just feel calm and relaxed. We want to slow the breathing down. We want to lower the blood pressure. We want to maintain a healthy immune system. And that sometimes means moving out of our daily life of fight and flight into rest and digest. So continue with those nice deep breaths and maybe bring your hands to your belly so you can feel the expansion on the inhale, and as we exhale, the contraction of the belly. This should feel easy. This should feel relaxing. We want to encourage nice, clean, clear oxygen moving through the body, and perhaps setting the intention to feel some compassion for our body, our minds, our emotional state. So breathing, feeling like you're nurturing your body with relaxation, that you're feeling fulfilled and relaxed. We will be doing some movement on our backs as well as on our hands and knees and our stomachs today. We do want to keep things moving. The lymphatic circulatory system is important to keep it moving to clear out, the fluid through your body, the accumulation of stagnation that builds up, and that helps with your immune system as well. Sometimes when our immune systems are compromised, we feel very tired, fatigued, overworked, achy, and we get that achiness usually in the lower half of your body, your hips, your thighs, your hamstrings, the groin areas. And so we want to create a little bit more space. We want to open those up. We want to take our time and feel some compassion towards our bodies. So if we're taking care of an injury or just some recurring pain, bring your awareness to that area of your body. It may be your back, it may be your shoulder even, but as far as our stress and tension in our lives right now, it usually manifests itself not only in the neck and shoulders, but again in the hips, the groin, the thighs. So bring your awareness, bring your breath to that area. And as you're welcoming yourself to the mat, as you're finding an intention for your practice today, breathe into those spaces. Breathe into those tight spots. Let the body relax and be held by the earth. I feel like Mother Earth is holding me and helping me, cradling all your stress, all your tension, letting all the negativity kind of melt away. So you can imagine that you're anywhere, perhaps on an island in the South Pacific. You can be in a hammock. You can be lying on a white sandy beach under a palm tree. And perhaps if you look over your shoulder, you might see clear crystal blue water. Wherever your happy place is, you can be there. Keep breathing, nice deep breaths. Find that intention on healing and self-care. Take about 5 more deep breaths. Don't fall asleep on me. We're going to start to move in a few moments. Couple more. Because I want you to stay relaxed through this entire practice today. So I'm going to keep the support under my head and neck. And as I bend my knees, I might move this blanket under my knees out of the way so I can use it. And then hug your right knee into your chest, maybe stretching out your left leg, or keep your foot on the mat, whatever feels the best for your back, and kind of squeeze your thigh into your belly. And you can move it around a little bit. And of course, restorative yoga is good any time of the day, I believe. You can do this first thing in the morning to kind of slowly wake up and find your meditation. You can do it in the afternoon when you're feeling sluggish and tired, or even at night before bed, whatever suits you. How about if we open that right knee off to the right side of the body? Can you circle this hip a little bit, keeping the rest of the body still? You can feel your sacrum pressing into the mat. If you want to do this in both directions, you certainly can. This may engage a few of your abdominal muscles while you're doing this. Remember, everything is connected in our bodies. If we have issues in the low back, it may be because our hips are tight. And then slowly release that leg, and let's pull the left one in and do the same thing. I like to take hold of my shin with my hands. You may prefer to reach underneath your thigh because you may have an issue with your knee. You might prefer rocking this or just holding it open to one side, feeling like the groin area is starting to stretch. Maybe circling that side again. Maybe you need that foot on the mat for a little bit more support. I want you to always feel your way. Find ways to take options or modifications. Although our restorative yoga is also a very modified practice, if you will, it's good for all levels. So now we're going to take both knees and hug them in and squeeze them as if you're pulling your knees up into your armpits. And you can rock side to side on that sacrum, and it might feel really good, hip to hip. This is also very nurturing and relaxing. Your blood pressure lowers, but we're still moving things around. We want to keep that lymphatic system flowing nicely. As you return to your center, we're going to press the legs straight up to the sky, pointing your toes as best you can. You might have a slight bend in your knees, pressing down with your belly button and your spine into the mat. And then inhale as your arms reach over your head. Now, if this blanket or your support under your head is blocking your arms, you may want to move it. Your knuckles may or may not touch the floor. And then as you exhale, hug those knees back in and squeeze the thighs into your belly. Your digestive organs love this. And then inhale, extend the toes up and the arms over your head again. One of my favorite moves. Exhale. I learned this one from Jeannie Dillion, a yoga therapist that I did a little training with. I just adore those Vinny yoga moves. Exhale, hug it back in. One more time. Inhale, reach arms long over your head, toes to the sky. And then exhale, draw the knees back in. As we bring the feet to the mat, yes, we're going to do a little bridging. So heels are underneath your knees. Arms going to start by your sides. So as you exhale and push your belly button down so you feel your spine imprinted, we'll slowly start to lift the hips and come up, up, up as high as you can, not pushing way up, but just kind of keeping a straight line from your knees through your shoulders. And then slowly lower your hips again, all the way back down, and relax. Let's try that again. This time we're going to add on our right arm. So as you peel your hips up, we're also going to lift the right arm at the same time. Again, it's going to reach over your head. The knuckles, again, may touch the floor, they may not. And turn your gaze to look over your left shoulder. You should be able to follow my directions without having to look at your screen all the time. As you exhale, we're going to lower the arm and the hips at the same time, keeping your face looking up at the sky. So everything is slow and fluid. On the next inhalation, we're going to lift the hips once again with the left arm this time. Inhaling, reaching fingertips over your head, turning your gaze to the right side over your right shoulder. And when you're ready to exhale, we're going to slowly lower all the way back down again. That feels really good. Let's try that one again. Inhale, lifting your right arm, your hips at the same time, turning to look over your left shoulder. And then exhale, slowly lowering everything back together at the same time reaches the mat. Inhale the hips back up, this time with the left arm, looking over your right shoulder, pressing your hip bones out toward your knees. And then exhale, slowly release. This time we're going to take both arms up with us. So as your hips lift, both arms lift, reach and feel like you can really elongate your spine. I'm pushing down with my feet into the mat. I'm not looking around. My chest rises up to meet my chin. I'm going to stay here for a couple more breaths. Inhaling, expanding the ribs. Exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale, find a little bit more length. Maybe lifting your heels if you want. And then exhale, slowly lower everything all the way back down to the mat. As you bring the bottoms of your feet together and open your knees out to the side, let's also take our arms out to the side in a big T shape. And I know this might be uncomfortable, so if your knees are up at this angle, it's perfectly fine because we're going to be rolling from side to side. So first, try to let your hips relax a little bit. And you are certainly welcome to put the blocks or blankets or pillows off your couch underneath your knees. That's not a problem whatsoever. As you exhale, I'm going to take the knees and the arms over to my left side. So I'm lying on my left side, my knees are together, my legs are together, my arms are together, my palms are together, and my head is still supported by this blanket. I'm going to leave my knees right where they are, and as I inhale, I'm going to lift that right arm back up, and I'm going to follow the fingers with my gaze and open my right arm all the way out to the right side. If this is difficult and your shoulder blade doesn't come all the way down, you definitely want to stack a block or a blanket underneath your left knee so that you've got a little bit more mobility in this chest to open those lungs. As we exhale, just lift that right arm up and exhale back over so that you're back on your side once again. Try that again. Inhale, lifting the right arm up and opening up the chest, taking your gaze over to your right arm. And as we exhale, drawing it back together on the left side. Slow movements, nurturing movements. Inhaling, moving with the breath. And this time, stay here and look over at your right arm and breathe. Several sets of breath. Exhale, settle. Inhale, expand the lungs. You might feel yourself twisting or settling a little deeper with each exhalation. One more breath. And this time as we exhale, come all the way back over to the right side. When you're ready to inhale again, open back up to where we started with the feet together. Looks like Supta Konasana. Arms are open, chest open, heart is open. And as you exhale, this time we're going to take it over to the right side. Again, maybe you need to adjust to keep your head on your blanket. I do. Bring your hands together, your knees and your thighs together. And then inhale, just the upper half of your body is going to open up to the left side, taking your gaze over to the left. You might notice a difference. It might be tighter on one side. Exhale. Bring your hands back together again. So you're really twisting through that midsection. Your digestive organs love this. Your hip, your spine, they're feeling these twists. Exhaling again. Slow, gentle movements. Inhale. One more time. And this is where we're going to stay this time. Gazing over at your left arm. And again, you might need some support under these knees on the right side as you gaze off to the left. Inhaling to expand. Exhale, sinking a little deeper. Take another round of breath. And this time as we exhale, come all the way back and over to the right side. Inhale, open everything back up again. If you are lucky enough to have a towel or a blanket or a pillow under each knee, this should feel more comfortable now. This time, grab those knees, pull them back into your chest, hug them in, and take another rock again, side to side. Maybe the knees are together, maybe they're apart. If you have any issues whatsoever in your back, I would highly recommend rolling over to your side to push ourselves up. Or you can rock straight up. Now, you are welcome to stay facing the long part of your mat. I will turn and face your screen for a moment. Roll the shoulders back. Make sure you're reorienting yourself in an upward seated position. Take a couple of breaths. Make sure you're not dizzy. And then we're going to sweep the fingertips up overhead and stretch up. I like to call this picking apples out of a tree. You have a lot of muscles in your back. And it's not just your traps and your lats. Those are the big ones. But there's lots of other little muscles that run up and down your spine. And I like to stretch those out daily. I'd like to make myself a little bit taller. And then we're going to bend off to the right side. Take your left arm and reach it up and over. Maybe rooting down with your sitting bones. Maybe not. It's up to you. Maybe it feels better to have your knees up or taking your legs in a different position. But stretching open the left side of the body. The hand might come behind the head. Maybe you're opening up the front of that collarbone and that shoulder. It might feel tight. And then coming all the way up. Take a deep breath in, and let's take it over to the other side and stretch over. Wherever it feels good for you. Side stretching, something we should do every day. So breathe into your side body. And come all the way back to your center. Now, if you're facing the front, we want to turn sideways on your mat or come forward onto your hands and knees. As we move into a cat-cow position, if you have any issues with your knees whatsoever, you may want to have a blanket underneath your knees, and you don't want it so thick that you're having difficulty maintaining here. So let's plant your palms. Exhale as you push the floor away and round into your spine. And then inhale, arc your spine and lift your tail, lift your face, lift your chest. We're going to add on to this a little sunbird. So as you exhale, see if you can draw your right knee in towards your nose. And as you inhale, arc your spine, but take your toe up as if you're trying to touch the back of your head with your toe. And then exhale. This just intensifies this move a little bit more. And inhale again. Exhale. Draw the knee in towards your nose. And inhale, take it up. Now this time we're going to change it up. We're going to step that right foot all the way forward. We're coming into a lunge. So you may want to scoot your foot even further forward so that your back knee is at an angle. So you don't want to be straight up and down. You want to be stretching the front of your left thigh and quadricep muscle. Now here's a really good place for pillows, blocks, a couple of books, high, low, whatever works for you. Kind of resting your rib cage on your thigh, and I know this is a big hip opener for a lot of people. You can certainly walk your hands all the way up, press yourself back, take a pelvic tilt here, so tilt your tailbone under, and then move forward as if you're stretching and encouraging, strengthening at the same time. That left hip flexor, the front of your thigh. Draw the shoulders back, sink a little bit deeper. As I bring my hands back down, either to your blocks or to your mat, I'm going to move in and out of Ardha Hanumasana, which is your little half splits pose, by pressing my hips back and then moving forward. A little gentle movement. Blocks are really handy here. Your leg may not straighten. That's okay. Go to where it feels really good for you. Inhale forward. Think about drawing the shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale. And inhale. Strengthening your spine. Now, perhaps bringing your hands down to the inside of that foot. You don't have to go all the way down to a lizard pose. I mean, you certainly can if you really like that. Maybe just let your hip open. Remember, we're trying to release a little bit of tension in the hips, trying to create a little bit more space here. So don't go where it hurts, but go where it feels like something's happening. As I come back up, I don't even have to move my hands. I'm just going to move my knees. Actually, let's stretch out that leg. It feels a little better if I stretch it to the back of the mat. And then move it over to the side a little bit. And then come back to your hands and knees, and let's go back to our little cat-cow with sunbird. So exhale, draw the left knee in, and inhale, take the toe up to the sky. Exhale, rounding, pushing the floor away. Excuse me. Inhale, lift it up, and then exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift your toe up, and this time we're going to step the left foot forward into a lunge position. So you might have to kind of work your foot towards the front of your mat. You can use your blocks. You don't have to. You can stay here with your chest on your thigh or move up into something to elongate your spine. Listen to your own body. Decide what works for you. Perhaps this feels really good to help you open up your hips. This might be too much pressure. Press down energetically with the back foot. Remember how we came up and we did a bit of a pelvic tilt right here? So you're engaging that hip flexor as you come forward. Inhaling and sinking a little bit deeper. Maybe bringing your hands back. I like that little rocking motion back and forth in that half splits pose, stretching the hamstrings, and then moving back into the hip flexors. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend over your thigh, ribs to thigh. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll bring those hands down to the inside once again and maybe allow your hip open. If you have a lot of time and you want to stop the video, you could always take a pigeon pose here. You know, while we're doing these lunges, you could always, if that feels really good on your hip. I wasn't including those today, but you know, you can always do your own thing. You can change things around as you see fit. And then bring it on back and stretch that leg back just because it feels really good to stretch it. And then take it off to the side. And I'm kind of pushing into my left hip and looking over my right shoulder. As you come back, let's open your knees and take a wide-kneed child's pose. So drop your forehead down. Crawl your fingers out And stay here for a few rounds of breath. I'm trying to lift my head so you can hear me. And just allow your breath to move through your spine, back into your hips, your thighs, your sacrum, your pelvic floor. Take a few more rounds of breath, and then we're just going to come forward onto your hips. You can leave the blanket there if you want, or you can move it out of the way. A little Sphinx pose. And as I'm relaxing, trying to relax my hips and buttocks, I'm going to be dragging my arms back. Not really, not literally, but pulling on my mat and lifting the upper half of my body. So I'm feeling it, a little achiness back here in my low back. It's supposed to be good for your kidney chi. Feel that little achiness. They say it helps relieve bouts of anxiety, helps deal with frustration, anger, fear, all those things that might be happening in our lives. Can you take your right knee off to the side as if you were doing half of a frog pose? If you want, you can lower down a little bit more, but I'm thinking you're getting a little bit more through your hip and in that achiness of the kidneys from this position. Take another breath, and let's move that leg back and try the left side. And I've got my knees sort of at a 90-degree angle with my belly trying to lift off the floor. My elbows, my forearms are still parallel. My heart is lifted. And I really feel this through the hips, the groin area, all those areas we talked about. The achiness, the tightness, the constriction that sometimes happens when we're feeling tense and tight and anxious or fatigued even, if we've done too much or our immune systems are compromised. And then slowly bring it back. How about lowering all the way down and resting your forehead on your hands and just kind of rocking your hips side to side. In fact, if you want to take this up a notch, bend your knees and kind of windshield wiper your feet side to side. That feels really good. Now, as I come back, I'm not trying to get you to do a push-up, but bring your hands underneath and lift up like you're going to do cobra, but come all the way up onto your knees so your spine is straight. So get the roundness out. My feet are flat, and I'm going to look over one shoulder. I'm going to imagine I'm a little mermaid here, and these are my little fins. And so I'm adding a little bit of a stretch on the sides. Ooh, the hip, and maybe a little bit more around the waist. Yeah, might require a little bit of arm strength. Be gentle. Don't hurt yourself. And then come all the way back up to your hands and knees. And let's take a little corkscrew cat. So bending the elbows and drawing up. And again, moving. So you can bend your elbows. If you don't like that, you can certainly circle your hips if you like doing that better. Pull your tights up. Just make sure you go in both directions and take any little kinks Take any little kinks out that you may have developed. And then once again, we're going to come back to a child's pose. Drop your forehead down. For me, a puppy pose works better because sitting all the way back and tightening my knees so tight sometimes bothers my knees. So you can always, when you're in child's pose, add a blanket, add a block, add a book. Try to relax. Try to relax. Maybe walking your fingertips over to one side. And then walking them over to the other side. Come back to your center. And as you rise up onto your high knees, come back here. We're going to inhale and lift your fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, lower them down to shoulder height and twist open to your right. Inhale, come all the way back. Exhale, lower your arms and twist over to the left side, keeping your hips to the front. Inhale, rise up, and exhale back into your extended child's pose. Hips to heels, crawl your fingers out. Let's do that again. Inhale, rise up. Big breath in. Exhale, lower your arms to shoulder height, and twist open to the right side. Inhale, come back to your center. And then exhale, twist over to your left side. Inhale, come back to your center. Exhale, back to your extended child's pose. One more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lower the arms and twist to the right. Inhale, back to your center. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, back to your center. And this time as you exhale, take your arms back behind you, like a little embryo, holding onto your heels. You can actually roll up onto the crown of your head, holding onto your heels, and feel a nice stretch in the upper back, and then release back down into this little embryo. So you're rocking from your forehead up onto the crown of your head, and then back again. One more time. And then back. As you come up, come all the way back into your seated position. Before we lie back down again, let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. And just massage your feet, maybe your ankles, maybe even your calves a little bit. You can take your thumbs and massage at the base of each little toe. You can run your thumbs up the middle of your foot. There's a nice little tendon there. Massaging with your thumbs. Whatever feels really good for you. Holding on to your toes and coming forward, stretching your hips again. You've been doing a lot of hip openings. Maybe opening your feet up like a book for your feet. As you draw your knees together, we're going to bring ourselves back down to the mat. We're getting closer and closer to our final relaxation. So as you lie down, with your feet on the mat, we're going to take the right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. And as you reach through, you'll notice there's a triangle here. So reach your right hand through the triangle and your left hand on the outside of the left leg. And I'm going to reach underneath and hold on to my thigh, call it a figure 4 stretch, and begin to pull this set of legs into your chest. Now you're gonna feel it immediately on your right hip, right there. So go where it feels good. Some people like to go, wah, and stretch really hard, and they're very flexible, and other people, this is as far as they wanna go. It's I don't need any more. As you slowly release, let that right thigh cross over the left, and then drop this whole set of legs over to the left side. Take your arms out like a big T again, and take your gaze back over to the right arm. So you're looking away from the legs, breathing into all the tight spots. Kind of visualizing your breath. Take another breath. And you can either uncross your legs first or keep them crossed and use the strength of your core to bring those legs back up. We're going to switch sides, cross the left ankle over, and then I'm going to reach through that triangle and clasp behind my right leg this time, and I'm stretching into my left hip, and I feel it immediately. So if you give it a little tug, see if you can't go just a tad bit further. Sometimes it's not really challenging your body, it's creating a new memory. Your muscles can remember where you moved them, where you stretched them, and you can usually go back there again the next time. And I'm going to cross it all the way over, so I'm thigh to thigh. And again, I'm going to drop these over to the right side this time. I'm going to feel this in my hip and my spine as I turn my gaze to look at the left arm. Take another round of breath. And then again, let's bring ourselves back to the center and just kind of slide your legs out. Let's find a way back into that comfortable position you had at the beginning. So if you had some support underneath your knees, you can do that. If you'd rather, and sometimes it's hard for people to open up. That's part of the challenge sometimes. You might roll your blanket up wider than your mat. Bring the tips of your shoulder blades to the blanket. My arms are not on the blanket, they're in front of it. So as I lie back, I'm feeling my chest and my heart open up, and I have a little tiny back bend. And I can relax my shoulders, your shoulders like this. And I still might want to put something underneath my knees for a little support. I think they call this babbling brook sometimes, because you feel like your knees are up and then your bum is down and your chest is up and your head and your arms are down. So you're kind of flowing over a babbling brook. Now you certainly don't have to do this. You can find another comfortable position. You might be lying flat. If you're pregnant, you should be lying on your side with lots of support underneath your belly and your arm and your legs. Maybe putting a blanket between your knees. If you have a back issue, you might be more supported with a bolster or blankets kind of stacked up so that you're feeling, a lot more support. Maybe back into Supta Baddha Konasana. This is a very important part of your practice, is the total release and let go. So if you have an eye pillow or a towel that you want to put over your eyes. I want everybody to get into the most relaxed position that you can. And let your body just open up. So even if you don't have anything for your eyes, close your eyes and let your body begin to sink. Just sink into the earth. The earth is what supports us. Breathe deep. Feel gravity just pulling your body toward the earth. Feel the support of the earth, the support of your blankets and pillows. Mother Earth is just holding you in her arms, releasing any stress or tension. Feel your breath giving you life. And just be in this moment. Let go of any anxiety or stress or tightness in the physical body, the emotional state. And perhaps go back to the intention that we set at the beginning of this practice, where you were focused on healing, bringing awareness to a part of your body that needed some special attention today. Let the eyes get heavy and sink into the back of the head, and let the jaw relax, and the tongue and the mouth, and the heart is soft and open, and the back is released. The legs are getting heavy. The feet and the knees are relaxed, and if your legs are straight out, they may just open up naturally. You may feel the toes turn out, the knees turn out. Be present with your breath and know that it's the breath that keeps us calm and guides us and helps us stay focused yet relaxed. You may stay in this relaxed position for as long as you would like. If you have somewhere else that you think you might need to be, you can begin to deepen your breath and start to wiggle the fingers and the toes to bring some awareness back into the physical body, back into your mind that is now calm and slow and relaxed. Moving and stretching now in a way that feels just right for you. Perhaps rolling over to one side, taking a few rounds of breath in this little fetal position on your side. At any point, you can stay wherever you like. There's no place to be, there's no hurry. But if you are returning to a seated position, use both hands and push ourselves up slowly. Let your head be the last thing that arrives. Your eyes can remain closed and relaxed. But in this comfortable seated position, let your spine be long. And gently allow the right ear to drop to the right shoulder. And then the chin to the chest. And then to the opposite side, left ear to the left shoulder. The breath is slow and fluid. And then once again, the chin is on the chest. Head hangs heavy. On the next inhalation, lift the face to the front and center And roll the shoulders back one time. Sweep the fingertips back to the sky and draw your hands to prayer in front of the heart, thumbs touching your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill the lungs again from top to bottom. Exhale very, very slowly. Allow the breath to bring balance back to the body and the mind. Inhaling again, that intention that we may have had, that focus on letting go and creating more space, healing thoughts. Exhale out any residual stress or tension or negativity. And may the benefits of this yoga practice stay with us for the rest of the day. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.